Welcome, everyone, to House of Royale, episode number 14. I invite everyone to come with me on a wild ride into the dark and mysterious and mystical world of industrial fashion. That's right. I had a search team go out into Los Angeles and find the hottest twins in the world. They are the founders and the creators of one of the top brands in fashion and entertainment, Jungle Tribe. Please welcome, all the way from Canada, DUST and BEAU. Woo! Insert copy. Woo! Hello, boys.
Hi.
We are at WTF Media Studios. Shout out to WTF. LA really needs to get the lowdown from the beginning, how you guys created this brand. And just so you guys can see, there's no words to describe. Like, I'm wearing some of their jewelry, and we're going to review this jacket hanging up over here too. So how did it all start?
The first memory of it was we were 7 years old, and we took a ceramic bead that we bought from a bead store, and then we found some leather cord from another store, and then we found a clasp, and we put it together, and we made little bracelets that we sold at the gift shop of a water slide park.
Wow.
So that was like the first kind of like, hey, our cost on this is $1.26, and we can sell it for $5. And the guy who runs the shop is going to take his cut, and we can make $3 profit or something.
Okay, wait,
we're
pause. Okay, so as a 6-year-old, how do you guys even know about money and
I think it was more
cost?
like we were in grade 6, not 6 years old, right?
No, it wasn't. No, by 6th grade, we were way past making bracelets, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, I read a bio that said 5 years old, so.
There you go. There you go. So it's confirmed. I guess our parents didn't have money growing up, but they were always running some type of business from the home.
That's what I was going to
yeah.
ask. You had to get it from somewhere, like the cost of the supplies.
Yeah, I think having that background where it was like, you know, if we didn't have that background, I don't know where we would be. But they basically like,
if your parents have like no money to give you, then you have to get money yourself. So it's like, okay, let's get a paper route. Get the paper out. Okay, we'll use the money from the paper route to buy the bead, to buy the clasp, to buy the thing.
And you guys didn't have parents that were like, I'm going to pimp my twins out and put them with a modeling agency immediately.
We were in Canada. We're far away
Canada,
from that.
There's not a lot of that happening.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why I'm not having children, because I would immediately pimp them out.
Yeah, right.
By the way, your kids are so gorgeous.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. So your parents were not, that's amazing that they were, oh, I said amazing. That's so cool that your parents were like mentally more healthy with you guys, because I think like living in LA, and I'm from California, most parents, if they had y'all as their children, they would be seeing dollar signs. So it's great that they made you guys work.
Well, they did see the
to.
dollar signs in that. We worked for them a lot. Hard manual labor. No, I'm just joking. So what ended up happening when we were selling at the waters, to put it back, we were selling those the bracelets and necklaces, anklets back then.
Beaded anklets.
Anklets were the jam.
With
that was
shells and colorful
Pearls
beads and
all
stuff,
this
which was not really our style, but we're like, oh,
That's
people are into
that
this.
shit's
Well, because
selling.
Canada, I was gonna ask.
this was the 80s, right?
Yeah,
So this was
we're
like
actually
different
from a
time,
beach
fashion.
town. There's
Oh.
a beach on either end, lakes. People would come from all over as tourists to this.
Like the best weather, best climate in Canada. It's like lakes.
So
like,
everyone's going for that beach vibe, which we did in that gift shop. But what it turned into was a family business of selling shave ice. And so we actually worked a shave ice stand at that water slides, built it up to have a location on the beach, and then another cart that did like events all over.
So that was that
was-
was a big detour. That was a family trip to Hawaii. First time we've been on an airplane and been out of the country. We were 10 years old. That was our first like going anywhere.
Oh.
And we were eating shave ice like every day on the beach, and we were like, these things are amazing, and
Not amazing.
they're
Awesome.
they're delicious,
So good.
Delicious.
thirst quenching. They were great. And then brought a machine back, started doing it. We saw kids on the beach and we were like, we could do that. We were quite young. We were still like 12, 13. And then, our parents helped us with the family business. So that was, that was their thing. It was like they could see potential in things. And if we didn't have that experience, we wouldn't know that you can kind of do anything, and you can fail too. That's the thing. That's how you learn, is failing. So you just you got to try it. So.
Where did the work ethic come from? Because you guys, like, as teenagers, I'm sure you had the women crawling all over you. How did you not veer off into the party scene? I mean,
Well, we did.
Oh, you did?
We
Okay.
did party. Yeah.
But you still had work ethic.
Well, we still, so like, high school, and after high school was done, we went up to college, we did things, but we still every summer came back to run this business. Our parents moved out of town, like it was us. And so the work ethic comes when people are like waiting for you.
We worked all summer.
Yeah.
Other
every
kids
day.
were having a day off, doing the things, and
If it didn't rain, we didn't have a day off. If it was sunny for 35 days solid, we worked 35 days. That was just what you did. So
You were probably drawn to it too because you knew that you had almost like a fan base. Like you knew that you were going to draw a crowd, right? Say
I
it.
mean, there.
So, it was a different type of fan base than what you're thinking of. But yeah, as soon as the cart would roll up, we couldn't even get things out. We'd already have a lineup forming, and we'd have to be like throwing snow at them.
Well, we
And
created
doesn't that
a
motivate you to know that people wanted your product, or like you guys were good at?
Yeah, it felt. I mean, sure, it felt good. I mean, we're like shy, humble Canadians, so yeah. I mean, I guess we can say it, but yeah. I mean, looking at it, we created a vibe. We had the music going and the Hawaiian shirts, and it was a misters out, and it was a vibe. Definitely,
Yeah.
it was people. So I guess that feeling of people buying into you, kind of. We got to a point where we were okay. I guess. Past the shave ice thing, then gap in time. But
Well, in the last year of doing Shave Ice, we also set up beside our booth all of the things that we were making. So on our last 2 years of doing Shave Ice, we were finished college and we were going to Taiwan, and we were teaching English in Taiwan. And while we were in Taiwan,
which is super random.
Like
we went to school, we played rugby, that was our thing. Then we finished school, we're like, we both have $25,000 loans out. Like, what are we gonna do? And it was like, there's a seat sale to Taiwan, and we're like, let's go. We showed up in the middle of winter wearing shorts, didn't know it's like actual winter, just like sink or swim, thrown into it. And I think also that experience of like being in a foreign country, not speaking Chinese, not knowing how to get it, we didn't know shit. All we had was like some willpower. Like we gotta
some
do
resumes that pretended like we
we had a degree.
before.
So that was a thing, right? Yeah, you had fake it or make it, got thrown into doing it. And I think that experience of like, not only is it like a brave new world, but it's like it's a whole different country. So maybe that is a little bit of confidence too, getting through all that to like be like, okay, what's next? What do we do?
Yeah. Well, and the reason why I bring that up is not to, make you guys sound conceited or anything like that. But I think so many artists are kind of looking in the mirror going, how do I keep going? Where is my motivation coming from? Like, I need the why, like I need inspiration. And it's like those beginning days of realizing, oh my God, people are coming to us. Like we're good at this, it's just like an inspirational, all the artists out there, like people want your stuff. You just have to believe it. And it is about energy, right? Like, believing.
So we spent years after Taiwan, like, so we were there teaching, and we were not legally teaching. So every 2 months we'd have to do a visa run. We'd have to go to it. We have to leave the country, come back.
Wow.
And so we were in Southeast Asia. We went to Thailand. We went to Indonesia. We went to the Philippines. Went to Malaysia. Every time we go somewhere different, Hong Kong. And through that process, we were always big fans of turquoise. We loved turquoise. So we started collecting turquoise from all the different places. And then we started collecting, back then it was shells. Like you get amazing shells in Indonesia.
Coral and stones and
we had backpacks full. We got caught up in India one time, and they were like opening our bags, and we had
snake vertebrae.
They were just like, look at us, like,
Oh my
what the
God.
raw stone that we take to a stone cutter in another country, and like
Snake vertebrae.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had all kinds of shit in our bags, and that was just like, that was kind of like that experience of being in Asia from the Taiwan experience. It opened up this whole pool of resources that don't exist here.
Yeah.
So that
we were making jewelry,
and I'm sure the street style was wild too. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The different style of what goes on in Asia is completely different than here.
Bangkok is
keep in mind, this is before you could, like, before social media, before like seeing what things are happening around the world. You had no idea until you went and visited it.
Yeah. Okay, so you were saying you guys were sewing and putting the pieces together.
Yeah, we were doing that, and then we set up a booth beside our shave ice stand with all the jewelry and things we were making, and we also were selling like at a farmer's market in our hometown.
Yeah.
Starting small with
small.
like starting to put this jewelry and this stuff out there, and then we sold the shave ice business. We're done. That kept us coming back to our small town that we were born and raised. We're like, fuck that. We're out of here. We're done. We're moving on. And so we already knew, because of doing shave ice, how the festival circuit worked. We would sell at different festivals. And so we're like, we just, went full force doing jewelry, leather bracelets. We ended up going on the Warp Tour, selling leather studded cuffs.
I read about that. That's so.
I know that was
glamorous.
Well, that was fucking wild, because we were like, we don't want to be rock stars. We know what these guys are going through. Like we're literally like taking a fucking bird bath in a 7-Eleven, just like get like sweaty from the day, and like, okay, drive to the next spot.
That show
and all
goes
those
back to back, multiple dates in a row.
We didn't do them all. We would do like 4 or 5, and we'd be like, fuck, those guys are hardcore. Like,
talk about it. Talk
right?
about it, honey. Yeah. The road life, right?
Yeah.
And what about your guys' hands? Like making pieces every single day? I mean,
well, we'd work all winter making stuff. And then that was also the thing about being in Southeast Asia, is we were like, oh, okay, we made this, could you help? And so we started really small, like cottage industry style in Bali, but literally sitting with families on their floors being like, hey, what do you think? Can you do that? They're like, yeah, sure. We made connections, made friends. And then that's obviously where the turning point of you can't make everything.
no.
There's a point where you just have to scale up at some point.
Because now you guys are in retail stores.
Yeah. Yep. We're in a number of stores, which is great. But at the end of the day, when you're wholesaling, in order for us to keep our numbers where we want to sell things, you have to consider that, because like, if we're going to sell a jacket for this price and it goes in a store, then they're going to double it. And then is that going to be something somebody can actually afford? So direct to customer works better for us in some ways.
We're still doing both.
Definitely. Okay, so let's rewind back to the Warp Tour days, because I love to name drop and I love wild stories. Do you guys have any memories of like the first like big name or singer that wore your stuff and just having a moment of like, wow, I can't believe they're wearing our stuff?
We should.
So I feel like the first time that we ever saw anyone wear our stuff was through Cody at Forgotten Sakes.
Oh yeah,
on
shout
Melrose.
out, shout out.
to Cody.
She was like, we came through the States, you know, still living in Canada at that point, and we just kind of, somebody's like, your guys' stuff is so rock and roll looking, like you should go see her. And we went,
Literally brought a trunk.
into her store, like, hi, you know,
Which, by the way, today does not work.
yeah,
Does not.
you cannot just like, you can't just drop in and be like, I got some stuff. And then maybe if we didn't look freaky and she kind of vetted us a little bit, like she kind of gave us the eye, but she's like,
Where are you from? And I think it was like, oh, we're from Canada. And she's like, oh, okay, yeah, that they do things differently up there.
yeah, like she had Ray working there, who was
Ray,
kind of
yeah.
like the bulldog, like sizing up, like, who the fuck are you? And it was like, okay, open up the trunk, and she like picked out a bunch of stuff, and then like wrote us a check, and we walked out with money, and we're like, is this how this works? This is fucking great.
When you're
And-
hot, yes, that's how it works.
But I mean, that was a big jumping starting point. Right?
So
like, I think
who was the? I feel like it was like Steven Tyler wearing a necklace.
Wow.
Maybe, right?
Yeah,
was that the
we
first,
had
or
like
or
angel wing kind of
was that the first, or
pendant that, and you know, of course, with the Aerosmith logo, it was a no brainer. And
I
then-
mean, wow.
I mean, it was like Marilyn Manson wore a pair of gloves on his tour.
there? But back then, it would be like, and we were not like even at email level yet. I mean, email
Yeah.
existed, but we were not emailing each other. When we would come in to see her, she'd be like, "Oh, by the way, so and so, they were wearing your thing in this magazine. I'll try to get you a copy."
Right.
You're like,
You're like,
all right.
"God, thanks for letting me know."
And
She's like, "Oh yeah, Madonna was wearing your jacket yesterday."
No big deal.
Has Madonna worn your stuff? Probably.
Madonna is one of the few. Oh, are we allowed to say that we sent stuff to a studio in New York for the?
I
don't
know.
don't
So
know.
we sent an order to the studio where the dancers and the whole thing were prepping. So nothing that
It
I
may-
know has
maybe coming
happened.
out.
It's
Yeah.
okay. Shout
I mean,
out to Matt Cady,
yeah.
who is choreographing that tour.
Okay. All right.
I've already talked about it. It's fine.
Okay.
I'll get in trouble. So after Warped Tour, how did you guys come to LA and like plant your roots here in LA? Like, was it after Forgotten Saints? Was it scary, terrifying? Because I know there's a lot of designers that are going to be listening to this and looking to you guys for major advice.
Yeah, well, I think so in between the whole festival world, like we just got burned out with, we're at a festival, did several music festivals, like Shambhala Music Festival was a big one with the electronic scene of like, you know, that became our home base. That was like, there's a few major festivals, Base Coast Festival, which we still go to. So there's a number of these festivals that were like really good places for us to sell. And it was our people, our crowd, our kind of, you know, it was our home. And when somebody would buy a piece from you, you know, every single interaction becomes this like, you know,
It's a talking point.
yeah, but we
It's
just
a conversation piece.
we got to the point where we didn't want to have a part of every transaction and be the face of the brand. So after that, with Jungle Tribe, nobody knew who we were. We were just an online business that existed, and we for a long time didn't have a
burned out
bio
of
out.
the roadie life. Is
Yeah.
what happened. We totally burned out.
And we just didn't want to be the face of it. We don't want to sell. We want the pieces
product
to speak for
itself.
themselves, right?
Right.
We didn't want
Well,
to,
it's
you know.
having a conversation with thousands of people, and human beings can only do that for so long. I mean, it's super draining, and I'm sure it's so
So
emotionally uplifting to know that you're touching so many lives and having so many great conversations, but it is very draining. It's exhausting. So you
Yeah.
have to have other people working for you.
That's right.
yeah. That's what happened. Is we didn't like plan to like move to LA or anything.
Well, the first time I'd ever been to LA, I was hanging out with this girl that I met in Bali. We met doing yoga there. And then I was in the Oakland, and it was our birthday. You were at Burning Man, maybe? He was in around. And I was like, I got super drunk the night before at an art show. And then the next morning it was like cold, Oakland, like cold, like no sun and misty. And she's like, do you want to go somewhere warm? I'm like, yeah. She's like, do you want to go to LA? I'm like, I've never been to LA. And I was like, let's go. And so we drove down to LA, and we're just going to be here for a weekend. And like, I was just blown away. Like, there's a love-hate that I won't get into. Some people who come here, there's all different realities here. It's a whole world. And I was just like having so much fun. And we ended up staying for 2 weeks, and we ended up finding a place to live and moving here. And I didn't know that she was pregnant and maybe nesting a little bit, but we had no idea. And 12 years later, we're still here. So that was kind of, that was the start of it. That was just kind of like, it was such an amazing place. And
LA chose you.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So where was brother?
I'm trying to remember where you were at that point. I guess I dumped him for a while.
Paul was on some island.
No, I was still all over the place, but I was coming in and out and visiting and well, coming in and doing all the things that we needed to get done. Yeah. And back then, start real small. Our office was the garage.
Yeah. Yeah. Had a little garage studio.
Yeah.
Start small. I mean, if there's any advice, like everyone wants to scale up and be pro and do everything, just start. Like your costs are never going to go down. So just if you can work out of your garage and have the other day job and do all the things to make it happen, you don't have to go pro right away. Just like keep at it.
We always had side hustles going because we had to make that work.
Chippendales.
Yeah.
Now OnlyFans. I do have to say, the other day I went to the showroom in downtown LA, and I was taken aback seeing both of you together. I did not know I was going to get a treat like that. I mean, truly, it was so cool to see you both together and to just be in the shop doing the damn thing. Like, it's because we know how big you guys are now. We know other people work for you and you're in these stores, and it's a very powerful thing to walk in and see your brothers, your family, and you've been working at this for so many years, and to see you guys under the same roof. It really hit me emotionally to see that. It's really special. Yeah. Do you guys ever want to kill each other, or do you always get along like this?
Well, yeah. I mean, we like twins do, but I think we've realized through another set of twins that we know, we got there's not many twins who are in business together who share the same lives, but we've got some friends, and they were like, do you guys fight when you're not around each other? I was like, yeah. He's like, we've just determined we need to be in the same place. Because during COVID, Beau was in Bali, and he just stayed there for 2.5 years because it was like kind of the most perfect time to be there. And I was here, and we fought more than we ever have. So I think like the more we're apart, the more we don't communicate enough and understand each other. So we need to be around each other. When we're around each other, we don't fight as much.
Well, I mean, there's also the thing where you can't really communicate very well with time zones.
Right.
'Cause it's either when I'm over there, either I stay up really late or I get up really early in order to catch him in a time that we can actually talk.
It's day and night.
So it's like no one wants to get up at 6 a.m. before they've like ate their breakfast, drank their coffee, and start talking business. Nor do they want to. Nor do they want to at midnight. Or I mean, there's some people out there. Shout out to you. Great job. Not me. Or wait till after midnight to start talking business is also not good, because then how do you go to sleep after? So,
right.
You choose one and you go with it. But
what other twin superpowers do you guys have? Like when someone gets hurt, can you feel it?
I mean, that's like on the list of twin questions. Like number one, did you guys have bunk beds growing up? Yeah, I don't think we have the ESP male necessarily.
Mom still thinks that when I got my tooth pulled out, you fainted, and she thought it was because
Wow.
you were feeling my pain. But I think
I
it's
was
just
like,
'cause,
I was just
watching a tooth
them
get
pull a
pulled
tooth
out.
out with pliers, and like, I was like, oh fuck. And then they're like, oh, you guys are connected. You feel his pain. I'm like, I don't know. I think it's just the extreme empathy where you know the other person so much that you know exactly what that would feel like.
Yeah.
So I think that is kind of like the feel your pain game,
But any two people in any relationship would feel that same amount of empathy, right? If they've been together long enough.
Yeah, but twins definitely have extra powers for sure. It's been proven. Look at Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen.
Oh, there you go.
They work together and they've stayed together.
That's true.
Shout out to the Olsen twins.
Yeah.
We want to have you guys on the show.
Shout out to Satin Puppets.
Yeah. Two very amazing twins that just came over to the studio yesterday, and we had the most amazing time with them.
They are
so talented, amazing singers, amazing artists, amazing tattooists. And yeah, they're 5 minutes apart. We're 4 minutes apart. All of the things. Yeah.
Yeah. Their whole.
So we actually had a lot of like pretty deep twin conversations yesterday with them, which we don't really get the chance to do because it's very, very rare. It's actually never happened where we're actually both in the same room at the same time with a set of twins talking about twin stuff.
Well, we've talked with Josh and Jesse,
right,
from the Do Lab Lightning and Bottle Festival. There's 3 brothers, 2 of them are twins, and so
yes, we do. We
chats with them about the twinning life.
Yeah.
Well, you were manifesting it for sure because when I saw you that day, I mentioned the Olsen twins, and you were like talking about wanting to meet more twins.
You are so right. The very next day, they came in and we got to talk twin talk.
I got to meet them before, but yeah, we haven't all 4 been together like that. Yeah.
Thanks for helping me call that one in.
You guys do have the ESP. You have the psychic power. When you guys sell pieces or when you guys collaborate with artists, what is that process like? And also, can we talk about influencers wanting to get things for free?
Sure.
Let's have that conversation because I know everyone's on strike. Everyone's broke. Everyone needs to get paid. We all need more money. Artists need more money. So let's talk about money and how it all works. I mean, because it is a problem, right?
Let me say it this way. When like the influencer thing started, before it had the term influencer even, it worked out on both ways really well for a big reason. Back then, there was a thing called a coupon code, which that person would happily post so that the sales from those posts could be tracked. That business agreement was transparent on both sides. So if that person did a good job to bring in sales, you could both work together on how you move forward on the next post or project or piece that was given or whatever. Those were really the glory days, and it worked really well. And it has like slowly shifted out of that and to a point where like the scale is kind of really tipped. Like if someone like got a hold of us and they're like, "Oh, I'm an influencer. Would you like to like send me some free stuff or whatever?" It was different. It was different back then. You could set things up.
Like every designer now is facing this, where we've had basically like we had one kind of like hip bag thing that we made years ago, and pre-social media, pre-Instagram, pre any of this, we were selling them online, and somebody took a photo of the different ways that this bag could be worn, and then
it can be worn 4 ways, not just
they put a sepia filter on it.
No,
a different one.
Okay.
But they put a sepia tone and they put it on whatever it was where they posted
Tumblr.
Oh,
all that stuff. Remember
Tumblr and Imager and
so like
else.
overnight, this thing got like 400,000 views.
Wow.
It went viral before there was
Viral.
So before it was a
viral
word.
was a word, right?
Yeah.
Viral used to mean like I'm sick. No, it was like it was crazy because like we were like small town Canada, like
Right.
we were like the city we were born and raised is like 30,000 people.
Yeah.
Like the big city in the province we lived was like 400,000 people, and we're like, can you imagine that one of every people in that city saw our fucking bag online? And the sales just like started, like it was one of those things where we just got lucky
So
back
it was
then.
a good thing.
It was a great-
So
no,
this person posted
so it was a
it
great-
because they
yeah.
thought it was
Yeah.
dope, not because they were
Yeah,
trying to sell it.
and we tried to contact
Can
them.
you imagine just doing something out of, oh, these guys have this website, they've got this thing for sale, and they haven't thought of putting all the ways of wearing it in one succinct photo. I'm just gonna do this because
Yeah.
for whatever.
And I'll tie this all back. I'm going astray, but I'll bring it back. So this thing goes crazy. People start buying this bag a lot, right? And this kind of made us go like, whoa, like we could just sell online now. Like we don't have to go to festivals. We can just like we could be done with it. Like we saw that this might be a thing, you know.
Mhm.
So we tried to find that person who made that photo to give them a free bag because we would be like, look, you changed their lives. Like we got to give
Yeah.
you one of these if you posted it on here.
Who are you?
Yeah, who are you?
To
right?
this day,
Tell us.
whoever did the sepia
if you were
tone on
that
the blaster bag with Ashley wearing it, please.
So that was kind of one of those moments. And then from there, that was all over the internet, and China companies, this manufacturer, we actually can trace it back to selling a few of those models to
we
Hong
sent
Kong.
some orders to
And we're like,
Yeah.
in Hong Kong, we're like, oh, wow, okay, cool. But these companies, instead of us producing the numbers we were doing, they made thousands of them,
Mhm.
non-leather replicas. Ours sold for $269. They're selling them for $40. eBay, Amazon, they started showing up
Wish.
everywhere. And
All
they
things.
they were taking our photos. So they stole their photos online.
Okay,
They
here's
stole
the
their
juice I was
their
looking
video.
for.
Yeah, they stole all they took basically the whole thing, and they would be selling to this day. I still police those sites and get them removed. But we quickly found out that there's nothing we could do. They can reproduce our bag. That's crappy. Like I did a video online of me tearing it apart with my hands. It's like it's
Wow.
made out of like PU, shitty synthetic wannabe material, but they use our photos.
Mhm.
So that's one thing. Intellectual property. You can't take someone's photos.
You guys were the knockoff
without-
Louis Vuitton before it was the
Yeah,
knockoff, baby.
So that was the whole thing where we were trying to figure out like, is there anything we can do here?
And no lawyer.
No, well, I was trying to get a hold of someone, and then I quickly found out with fashion, there's really nothing you can do.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
even with an
well,
attorney.
okay, if you have an attorney and you have a ton of money and you are Louis Vuitton, then sure you can try and go after
and
it.
you've trademarked certain aspects
But
of that.
without
bag.
That's what I want
trademarking?
to talk about too.
Yeah, so basically eBay, we never sell on there,
Mm-hmm.
but I quickly learned that they're like, okay, what's your trademark? Well, we don't have one. Well, we can't do anything. So how do I get a trade? Like,
Are you
I can't-
trademarked now?
no, because one bag, one item per item. It's not like you
It's an
can trademark
expensive
your company,
process.
right?
I
So
see,
it's
I
like,
see.
at that point,
But you
you're
can
like,
trademark
did-
Jungle Tribe.
I have the name. They can't use that name.
Okay, good.
And they also can't use our photos. So if I find them online, I can flag them and they can have the photos removed. But then the next step, they can't use our photos anymore. What do? They pose a model to look exactly the same color, white t-shirt, same color jeans, and they recreate the shot completely using their own model. And I'm like, guys, think of something else to do with
oh
your
my
time.
God.
But they fully go down that route. And so
What about a patent? Like for this cuff on the shoulder, can you patent something?
I don't think in fashion there you can unless it's some,
I think
like,
if it-
functionality.
if there's some unique functionality to
Uh-huh.
it, then you could. But
Okay.
and again, this is a conversation for big brands out there that have money to throw at it.
Yeah, but
it's
this
like at
is
this
a
level.
great conversation for fashion
Sure.
because
Yes.
like we need a sector of attorneys. We need fashion attorneys. Like,
Did that work for the amount of money that we have to pay?
well, because you guys are going to start making way more money because we're going to fix this. Like, we can't just have civil rights lawyers and like criminal defense lawyers. Like, we need fashion designer lawyers. Seriously, I think that they should do it because for singers, we have entertainment lawyers.
Yeah.
This is true. This is true. You know, anyone out there, if you know of anyone that can help us with this, because even weekly, we can devote hours and hours and hours of time just cruising the internet, finding these copy bags, trying to report them. They don't make none of Amazon, eBay, none of them make it easy.
Yeah.
They make it a time-consuming thing to report each one. So we're looking at like we already are like we have a budget we need to set aside every week just to try to police this stuff.
Wow.
And at the end of the day, you're like, you just give up. You're like, okay, whatever, move on.
The bummer,
Make something better.
So there's
right?
but the bummer is when a customer finds that copy before they find the original. They don't even know. It's come up on a Facebook ad. They see a thing. Oh, I'm gonna buy this thing. They get it, and then later on they find us and they go, oh, are you guys selling these bags that are made in China? Because I have one, you have one, but you're selling it for a lot more. So when that happens, that's a bad way to work back from. Luckily, there's been people who've bought the copy. They find us and they go, oh, I threw out the copy and I bought the original and we're supporting you. And that's happened a lot, which like shout out to all those people.
And some people have commented, read the comments online, and then have come straight to us. They're like, "Oh, I read that, you know, this is the copy shit, and I came here." And we're like, "Oh, great, you have integrity.
Okay.
You're a good person."
Yeah.
Luckily, we do attract people with integrity and great people. It's like you get what you put out there in the world. So
Yeah.
we have that going for us.
Next question. Hard question.
Yeah.
Because you guys want to be nice, but this is serious shit. So I know you guys don't know about pop culture, but there's a person named Kim Kardashian. And she went public in stating that all of her outfits and all of the designers that she has close relationships with, those things are planned ahead months in advance, and it's very costly. It's you know, a way of life. I mean, it's a religion. And she is upset with fast fashion brands like Fashion Nova and Dolls Kill. What is your guys' opinion on consumers that are buying from these companies? Do you think that, I'm just going to say it, do you think that we should shut these companies down?
Did she personally think that, like, because she's wearing some name brand stuff, and so she's saying
She got upset because Fashion Nova was copying her looks head to toe,
oh,
but with super cheap material, right? And
what does she have to complain about?
well, I mean, because all the girls out here end up having the same dress, and then it takes away from that brand. And it's like, this dress is special because it's Dolce & Gabbana and it's, it costs $10,000. Like,
yeah.
But if everyone's wearing it and it costs $45 or like $160 from House of CB, now we have a problem because there's nothing special about haute couture.
Well, I can see how something is on the runway and Zara or H&M before, it's like the runway for spring, summer, and it's in the winter, and before you know it, it's already like dropping in these stores before the brand who actually created it, which they ripped off, is even able to sell it. So yeah, that's a problem. And the whole, we could talk in length about the problems of fast fashion, but
But then also there's artists like me. I'm in the music industry where we have to be on the red carpet or on stage, and you have to have a new outfit. You have to have like 3-4 new looks every single week. And it's like, bitch, I can't afford this shit. So there's that argument too of like, if you don't have the budget, you're kind of going, okay, thank God I can get something that looks hot for cheap.
Yeah.
So there is that issue as well, especially in entertainment.
Well, and that brings in the stylist role, who's in there creating these outfits. And like, sure, if you're a high-end celebrity, you'll have a budget to pay that stylist. But you know, there's a lot of stylists in this town that are hustling, that are trying to make ends meet, and they'll come to us and be like, yeah, I'm dressing so and so, and this could be, you could have your stuff in this magazine or this thing, and entice you. So then you like have them come over to the studio, they pull a bunch of stuff, said person wears it, you're like, okay, great. Stuff comes back, always makeup, like neckline ruined stuff where we're like, I don't know, can we sell this now? There's, you know, or worn on stage. Great. Yeah. Sweat and all this, all this stuff, and give it back to us. And then at the end of the day, the stylist makes money and we make nothing. We get the
pieces,
and now they don't tag. So
that's and then the
why do people not tag?
So that's what I was gonna. When you asked us before about influencers and stuff, I was getting to that, but we got distracted because I was saying like before there was like, you know, post a coupon code, track the sales, do the thing. Now a lot of times stylists, like you ask if they can tag, and it's like, oh no, they're being paid to tag. So unless you have a budget to pay them to tag,
and the celebrities just expect everything should be free to them because they're celebrity.
Well, it's not necessarily them. It's sometimes that in between stylist who does have a budget but wants
they charge to tag.
The celebrity. Big time. There's a whole
economy in itself.
Oh yeah,
That's how
it's like selling feet pics.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wait, is there like an industry behind that? Because let me tell you.
But then you have.
I mean, you should start right now, definitely.
Then you have people like, I can tell, like Jason Momoa. He's bringing up his friends and people who make cool shit all the time. So there are some people. There are some, but somehow, as soon as you become rich and famous, you have to be a dick and forget about where you came from. That's just how it seems to work for like 90% of the people out there. So,
okay, let's just preach on this. Let's just like take this to church for a second, because Kim is the richest out of all of us, okay? And she tags everybody.
Does she really?
She does not gatekeep, and she always gives people credit.
I've heard that Paris Hilton does too.
Paris Hilton, amazing. Yeah. Paris Hilton will tell you how to do whatever you want to know. Like, don't gatekeep. Gatekeeping is literally bad for your karma, you guys. So just stop doing it. I had a conversation with a big-time comedian the other night. Shout out to Sarah. And she had Nikki Glazer on her show.
Silverman?
No.
Okay.
Maybe. No.
Okay, yeah.
No, and I was like, she was asking me questions about how I'm doing my podcast. And I'm like, let's set up a meeting.
Yeah.
I will tell you whatever you want to know.
Yeah.
Because there's power in lifting people up and giving people the answers and working together. And it's just like, if you're good at what you do, it'll succeed.
Yeah, we have no secrets. Like, we're the same way. If anybody wants to know anything, we will tell you everything that we know about how we got to here. It may not work for you, but this was our path. And that's what's interesting in life, is like hearing in any, whether it's fashion or whatever it is, like, how did you get to where you are is always like fascinating, right? Yeah, in this town. Yeah.
Well, I love that. I mean, it must be a little bit because you guys are from Canada and
a little naive.
No, I think just your parents were good people. Like, my mom was such a good person. Like, she really like gave back to her employees. She had 3 huge dance studios in the Bay Area, and it was never for her. It was never about like making the most money. It was just about like the most talented kid had no money. We're giving them a scholarship. Like, how do
Wow.
we make the team the best it can be? You know? And
Yeah.
I truly got that from her. And I'm constantly looking around in LA going, why are we not working together? Like, why are we not being a team about this? And women too. Like, I want an all-female production team, and it's so hard for girls to get along. Like, I really just, I'm gonna, like, until I die, I'm gonna keep fighting for camaraderie. And then it's so much more fun.
Right.
When you're having a good time with the people that you're working with, it's like, oh, this is fun for once. Instead of like, you know, people being secretive and like NDAs and like weird blood sacrifice shit. And no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah, so I love the love that you guys exude from your soul and your spirit, and it just like shines through into your work. And speaking of which, I want to dissect this jacket really quickly before we pull a tarot card because we're
Okay.
almost done.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay, can we talk about this jacket?
Careful, it's
Can you hold
heavy.
it?
Yeah. Do you need a mic? You still mic'd in?
I just want you guys to.
Well, this is his piece. He made this.
Oh
one.
my God, Bo,
Yeah,
tell us.
Well, there's some pieces that we make together.
Or something
But-
starts. One of us starts something and it sits around for a while. Another one's
So they
like,
finish it, or we go back and forth. But there's some pieces. This was like a COVID piece. You know, we were apart for years, so I don't think. Did you even know I was even
no,
working on it?
no.
Yeah, I mean, like I collected components for this from around the world. For
Wait, get it into
years.
the screen more. Show the
can you
shoulder
Which
and
way?
turn this
Which camera?
away from your face. Like, yeah,
Like-
right. Okay, and down a little bit.
And then down. Okay.
And to your left. Oh, yeah, baby.
So-
Okay, so how? Like, this is giving me Michael Jackson meets Hitler. Like, what is the
Well,
inspiration?
Well, you nailed it. I mean, no, Hitler's not my inspiration by any means, but you got it right in that there are a lot of components on here that I did get in Germany. When I was there, I went to Mauer Park and a couple other places where I got vintage military components.
Okay, wait, give us your face, too.
Vintage military
Okay.
components.
Yeah, military. It's military.
It's very military. I mean, like it's inspired by a military jacket with the sash and everything.
Yeah.
And I, after sometimes like you keep things on your workbench and you're like, oh, I love this piece so much, I want to use it sometime. Then a lot of times you don't allow yourself to use it because it goes onto that thing and then it's done forever. So
Yeah.
a lot of those pieces, finally, I was like, one day I'm going to do all the things, including even like, this is like a Yves Saint Laurent
Turn it. Yeah.
like scarf that I actually like was a
Is that
scarf
how you
that
say
I
it?
had.
Ooh.
Isn't it?
Hermès.
Whatever.
Hermès.
That was like a beginning point, and
Ugh, it's
Yeah,
so sick.
I wanted military, but I wanted like also our vibe, and I have to say I was inspired by Cruella.
So
Which-
that costume designer on that movie,
Whoever that
and
was.
the same. I know who she is,
Oh.
and she was on. She did Mad Max too.
Yes, we'll put
And,
her face right here.
Uh,
Shout out.
her name's slipping me right now, but like we would die to work on Mad Max or one of these type of films. But anyway,
We're gonna
one day,
DM you
one day,
to
yeah.
work with the boys.
Yeah.
Please.
So yeah, like there's a scene in that where she's wearing a jacket, and that it obviously doesn't look anything like it, but that was definitely an inspiration for being able to put
because
something together
that
like
movie,
this.
the costuming was incredible. Like
Yeah.
it was just so over the top.
Truly.
so next level.
Um,
Yeah.
I would like to see that on like Jared Leto or like someone super like drama over the top. Maybe like in a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe even a girl. Like what girl would be good in that?
Oh, it's a girl's cut.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's-
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Jared Leto could fit in it. But
Yeah,
no one
he could
else
fit. All the Gen Z boys can fit into that shit.
Right.
They're little babies. Who, if you could put that jacket on anybody, who would it be?
Who would it be? Do you have any
Loaded
ideas?
question. I mean,
This is
Gaga.
maybe not.
Someone
Lady
more
Gaga
industrial.
would definitely. We know her size because we did do some stuff for her.
Shout out Gaga.
And I think she would look really good in this.
Typewriter keys. Is that what that is?
Yeah, those are typewriter keys.
Why
Yeah.
say 30 and 7?
I don't know. For some reason, there's typewriter keys out there that have numbers on them. Yeah.
So cool.
Bo's like a junk collector. Like you should see his studio is like, there's just like, he's taken all these components over the years and then cast them, made a rubber mold, and they could, not all of them live forever. Like a lot of these are just the originals, but he's just collected bones and oddities and things forever. And so it's like the amount of things we have to play with now because of the collecting he's done is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, like a piece, we don't do anything simple. It's always over the top. And so having all these little components from doing this for
sometimes you need just that one right thing in that one right space. And if you don't have it, then like this jacket was in process, like sitting there on a dress form for 2.5 years until finally all the right things came together.
And then when you're asking who should wear it, that was the interesting thing about last weekend is then when with the jackets that there's so much time and energy and
love you put into them.
Then when the exact right person that should be wearing it finds it, that's the best feeling ever, because it really sometimes something doesn't sell for 4 or 5 years and you're like, fuck this piece, like it's not good, like it sucks. And then the right person who loves it and you're like, oh, it's not about selling it, it's about that person finding it. I mean, that's sounding kind of cosmic, but it is.
And now also at that point, we're just like, it doesn't really matter how much money they have. Don't even look at what the price is on there. We're just going to do whatever we can so you can have this piece, because you put it on and you own it. The way that you like walk around in it or look in it or just like the energy. This is you. You need to have this. So that's like, and so for this, I think the best person is the person that puts it on and just like owns it. Having said that, I would really love FKA Twigs to wear this, because I'm so personally inspired by everything she's been doing and how open she's been about all the difficult things she's dealt with in life and just all the things she does. I don't even know if she'd really even like it.
She would. It's done. We're calling it into fruition.
Yeah.
There definitely are a number of artists out there who you just know are good people, and there's no way you can't just go shopping for celebrities and be like,
no, you have
our stuff.
You can do it, and you could try to get a hold of them. You could try to get a hold of their stylist, and as soon as you're the person trying to connect with them, you've already lost everything.
You got to wait for them to come to you.
Well, guess what? We're going to see the next 2 celebrities that are going to be wearing Jungle Tribe right now. This is the Cardsy B Tarot deck. And the boys are each going to pull a card. Let's see who they get.
Do I spread them?
You can shuffle them.
And pull?
Shuffle them around, feel the energy. I can't wait to find out.
Am I allowed to present him the deck?
Yeah, of course.
Keep going. Madonna!
Yes!
That was a good poll. That was a really good poll. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
Bulgar.
See, a couple of Virgos, I could justify every one of these cards that I should pull, and it's hard to choose one, but I guess this is the one. 3 of Cups. TLC. I read the bottom and I was like,
oh my God. So
TLC.
Shout out TLC.
Can I say one thing about
this really quickly? Of course.
I was just wearing these pants, short pants with all the straps. You can't really see them here, but there's a bunch of straps in them. And I just went and saw TLC in our small hometown.
What?
In Canada. They randomly played Figure That One Out.
Oh my God.
And I felt like I was back in my hometown with my friends that I went to high school with, watching TLC perform, and I'm walking up wearing these pants, and she's wearing very similar pants with straps all over them, and I just went, oh my God, how do we make stuff for them? This is amazing. Can't believe you just pulled that card.
Wow.
Okay,
that was a few weeks ago.
Really quick, what are your cards? What is it?
Number 3, TLC.
3 of
Cups.
3 of Cups. Okay, hold on.
What is mine?
Okay. These crazy, sexy, cool chicks know how to party. The Three of Cups brings a spontaneous celebration of love, friendship, and TLC. This can indicate a wedding, family event, or just a fab girls' night out.
Wow.
Okay,
It is too perfect.
it means Beau's gonna get married.
But I pulled the card.
It means you're gonna get a fun girls' night out
There you go.
at the club. Okay, Beau, what's your card?
WF? What is that?
Oh,
Wheel
it's
of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Wheel of Fortune.
That's a major arcana card.
By the way, I love these cards, and whoever made them is
Yes.
so on point.
Bex, Rebecca. The Wheel of Fortune. Madge reminds us that life is never predictable and change and evolution are necessary. From material girl to yogi to mambo, she teaches us that innovation comes from constant growth. And this stands for transition, movement, and change.
There you go.
Yay!
All the things.
And rehab is for everyone. Nobody should be judging at all. It's a tough world out there to be a celebrity, right? I mean, come on.
Oh, right. Yes.
You know?
Everyone, please sign up for rehab now.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, this was episode 14. We love you all so much. Go out there and create something fantastic today in honor of Jungle Tribe and these beautiful boys, Dustin and Beau. Thank you so much for coming on to
Thank
the
you
show.
so
Thank
much for
you.
having
Be
us.
good to each other and look out for each other and take care of each other.
Yeah.
Mwah.